So I've been getting a lot of inquiries about my method for applying for food stamps. And one thing that I realized is that a lot of people do not understand or even fully comprehend why they are even going down this path in the first place. So I'm going to give you a little lesson really quick. But before I start, TikTok, this is for educational purposes only and protected by the First Amendment right to free speech. Touching this video will lead to your violation of my rights. So let's not even go there. So let me take you on a quick history lesson on what the word apply means and what the purpose of the application is. Stay tuned. According to Black's Law Dictionary, which is one of the books I recommend for anybody starting this journey to begin with, because first and foremost, what you need to understand, oops, I'm sorry for saying understand, that means that I stand under you, but I don't stand under anyone. So what you need to comprehend is that the words that we speak have double meanings, sometimes more than that, because they are what we know as curses. That's why we spelling. Anyway, let's get into it. According to Black's Law Dictionary, apply means to make a formal request or petition, usually in writing, to a court, officer, board, or company for the granting of some favor or of some rule or order, which is within his or their power or discretion. For example, to apply for an injunction, for a pardon, for a policy of insurance. Hold on, there's more. Now let's dive into the definition of application according to Black's Law Dictionary. A putting to, placing before, preferring a request or petition to or before a person. The act of making a request for something, a written request to have a certain quantity of land at or near a certain specified place. Now we're not talking about land right now, but basically let me break it down to you. So the purpose of an application is basically to get volunteered information from you that they have to take, along with two very vital pieces of information from you that they need for them to be able to gain access to your trust. One is your social security number. The second one is your signature, sign your nature. Why do they need these? Because that is the key to unlocking the vault. And no, don't get me wrong, there is no vault of money or anything like that, but that's just a figure of speech. So on applications, the reason why they ask so many questions is because they need you to volunteer the information so that they can put it up against their eligibility requirements or anything that will prevent you from getting your due, but allow them to still get your information by you filling out that application, submitting your information to them, just to be denied. Why would somebody want to do something like that? Because you are worth millions. Let's start there. And the more you labor, now that you gave them access as a trustee to your benefits, they're going to be able to gain access to them. Anybody that takes your information from an application that requests your SSN or your signature, they now have access to your trust. So I'm saying all this to say, a lot of people do not understand the application process, and a lot of people are in this process, but I don't really think they understand what this process is about. We are in this for freedom, but you have to realize that their system has any room for freedom because it's not built or created for freedom. It is a system. So when you think the way that the system has told you to think, then you'll believe that certain things are certain things because you lack comprehension. But when you really dig into law and you realize all of the stuff that they do, all of the double meanings, all of the loopholes, all of the differences between operating publicly and privately, and how you can benefit from both sides, but they don't want you to because you've only been taught how to operate publicly, and that's why you're losing. When you figure that out, then you'll realize that freedom is literally just a step over the line. It's really that simple. But you got to free your mind. That's what this process is about. It's about freeing your mind, because everything they taught you is a lie. And once you free your mind with the knowledge of the truth, then you can operate as a sovereign. So a lot of people don't realize or understand the whole point of an application. And going back to that, the whole point of an application is for them to get information from you that you volunteer, so that they can hold that up against their standards just to deny you. Still, they win, you lose. So until you go and do the research, like I always say, until you go read those books, until you understand the difference between the language we speak and the language they speak, maybe you should not sniff over here in this corner. I don't think you're ready for this stuff. You got to come in here slow step. But I'm not a slow step teacher. I don't teach on a slow level. So if you want to benefit, then rock with me. If not, then move along, and I wish you no harm. But I hope this helps somebody, because a lot of people don't realize or even understand the difference. So have an abundant week, and I'm gonna go back to mine.